Good morning and welcome to the Friday episode of More Than Just Task Management, your favorite daily podcast that helps you build a thriving business with me, Anna Angelova, business coach and consultant, and my loyal co-host, Jores Minasfant. Morning, Jores.
Good morning, Anna. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Woo. And since it's Friday, we actually have a very interesting topic in store, right? And if you are in a manufacturing related business, this episode is for you. If you're not in a manufacturing business, you can still listen because there's always something. Like I find that sometimes the best ideas come from places we never expected. And I had wonderful conversations yesterday with people from different businesses, and they were saying the same thing that sometimes completely unrelated business and you get a light bulb, right? So uh, if you want, tune in and listen. If not, it's okay as well. Like we do recommend focus. Like focus is one of the key things for us as well. So if you're not in a manufacturing business and KPIs is not in your focus right now, um, come join us tomorrow for the episode. But what we're discussing today, it's ultimately the five KPIs, like the five most important KPIs for a manufacturing business. And Joris, you've had what the past 4 or 5 years? No, six,
It's
six
almost
years, I
7.
think. Yeah,
We're
yeah.
almost in the seventh year.
You've had a lot of experience with manufacturing, working with the manufacturing
Mm.
clients, and creating KPIs, dashboards, and things like this. So what we're focusing today actually is like if you're a returning listener and you've listened to past episodes, you know that we have discussed the KPIs you need to monitor as a business owner. And as a business owner, especially with manufacturing business, right? Like if you have a manufacturing business, it most likely means that you have other people who are doing work. So as a business owner, it's really important for you to stay on top of things from the high level. And the
Mhm.
KPIs we discussed before that every business owner needs are profitability in terms of percentage and also the real value. Then employee satisfaction, which is like also can be employee net promoter score, customer net promoter score, and impact in the way that your business defines impact. So when you have a manufacturing business, as the business owner, absolutely this is something that you want to focus on this. However, your operations manager, right, will need to
Mm.
focus on some details that are more granular. And this is what we are discussing today. Now, as the business owner, you don't need to stay on top of this the whole time because ultimately profitability is a great indicator that things are working or not working. And if they're not working, then you can dive and see what's going on. So,
Mm.
with this in mind, Joris, why don't you start us with what's the first KPI for a manufacturing business to monitor in terms of operations?
Mm. Um, First, well, if you think about a plant floor, factory floor, what is the first thing that you see? What's the only thing that you see? Well, not only thing, but the biggest thing that you see on that actually manufactures something is the equipment. And one of the most common, one of the most, I think, the most important uh, KPIs is it's called OEE, which is overall equipment effectiveness. This basically talks about how efficiently your equipment is running. How much downtime do you have? How much time do you spend on repairs of the equipment? How many units it generates per day, per hour, whatever your KPI is. And this is the standard one, the global one. However, in the last few years, we found out that also equipment capacity is also very important because before, if you don't know your equipment capacity, you may think, oh, I need to go buy another press or another welder or another robot. Yet, if you take your all of the capacity of all of your current equipment, there's a 40% free time that you can use for new projects. So by just adjusting the use of the equipment. So the OE and the equipment capacity, it's very important. I think it's the most important. And then there are a few other, I think, production yield. I think we talked about it. It's how much do you generate with the equipment and with the people that you have. That's number two. Um, On-time delivery. This also depends. Uh, it's not doesn't apply to all manufacturers, because if you're selling to a retail store, the on-time is, not as important as if you're selling to a company that assembles things. Because if you don't deliver on time, then you're, really stopping other companies' productions. You get fines for that.
Well,
I think the
on-time delivery is important because it builds trust, right? It's a way to
Mhm,
build trust because like, no matter who you're delivering to, when you have a deadline,
mhm,
delivering on
yeah,
or before the deadline, it's important for your um, for your own like one of the episodes we talked about managing your reputation, right? So your reputation as a
yeah,
business. And
mhm,
we all know how Amazon, for example, when we speak about delivery, they under promise and over deliver. So it's always great to under promise and over deliver. So yeah, absolutely, on time delivery is a huge one.
yep, yep. Um, uh, Another uh, KPI that has really taken a lot of spotlight in the last, maybe I would say, 5 to 10 years, is safety. Safety is a very, very big KPI that manufacturers need to report, for regulatory reasons, for production reasons, employment laws. They really, really require you to track the safety of the equipment, the people on the plant floor. This is also very, very important. Uh, it also helps you with scheduling, with the hiring and backup of your people. Safety is very, very important.
And
Um,
safety, if you remember in the habit book that
mhm,
for Alcoa, safety was the
yeah,
keystone habit that changed the whole culture
yeah,
when the new CEO came and he talked only about safety. This is it, safety, safety, safety. So a
mhm,
huge one, yeah, another
yeah,
another really really important one. And like you
yeah.
said, it is something that is spotlighted quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And over the years, managers and owners and operators noticed that when you pay attention to safety, you're actually covering a lot of the other parts, right? Then your equipment have to be safe, your environment has to be safe, your plant has to be clean, no tripping, no. So there's the way you purchase your equipment. They raises that standard of your purchasing. So you put your equipment supplier on the spot to make safe equipment. So it covers a very it it expands very broadly, and it increases the production. It's a very, very, I mean, I would pay, I mean, if you go pay a lot of attention to safety. If you go online and check for it, top five KPIs, it still doesn't come up as one of them, but I put it as probably as second or third KPI. Um, the other KPI that I've seen that it becomes very important is quality. Quality is also very, very important. And quality is expands to equipment, training, your people, the scheduling, the quality of the product of your supplier. If you're assembling or building a part or a component, your suppliers give you all the products. So the quality is also like expands across a lot of um, elements in your production. So I would put quality also on as top five. Inventory, if you think about like inventory turnover, if you increase your quality, inventory turnover will go down, right? they're directly related. If you have, for example, if you increase your quality, the warranty returns will go down. So, and then that goes back to what you mentioned, Anna, before, which is trust. So if you consistently generate or produce subpar parts, your customers will not trust you. You will lose their loyalty and they'll go away. But if you pay attention to these KPIs, you can make sure that you have lifetime customers. And so these are KPIs, but there's no one formula that fits all, right? So you have to build your own formula for measuring these, because quality doesn't mean one thing in one factory. It means completely something else in another factory, and
Yeah,
especially if
when
you
you think
span
about
across.
quality, I was thinking
Yeah.
about quality actually. Sorry for interrupting you, but
Mm,
when I was thinking about quality, in a way, yield is part of quality, right? Because the yield is more about it's about like the good products versus the whole output, right? Like how many products are
mhm.
actually good enough, so you put them out there and they're part of the inventory
Ship them
that
out. Yeah.
you sell, and then
Yeah.
also the scrap and waste as well, like the materials that are
Yeah.
wasted during the production,
Hmm.
like not the final, like that's not working, but during the production process. And then quality is also, as I said, good enough, right? Like what's good enough, right? Like what's good enough.
Hmm.
So it does have a few layers, and you don't have to have one KPI as an operations manager, right? Like you can actually have quality as yeah, it can be one KPI, like you said, you have your own formula, but then underlying this one KPI, you actually have a few key pieces, a few key measurements that define it. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. Like quality and safety, I think if you pay attention to those two, they indirectly reduce scrap, reduce inventory return. They basically, they're, I think, the top two. Besides the equipment itself, after the equipment, they're probably the top two KPIs to manage your productivity.
Yeah,
And
absolutely, they
yeah,
are.
and
And
there are, yeah.
I do
Mhm,
want to focus a little bit on the turnover as well, the inventory turnover, because
mhm.
it is important, right? You don't want to have inventory staying in your warehouse for like a lot of time and not selling it.
Inventory
And
management, yes.
yeah, inventory management, right? Like, so this
Mhm,
is also important. How quickly do you sell your inventory? How much do you have sitting in inventory right now in your
mhm.
assets, right?
Yeah.
So this is also really important because like one of the things with Toyota, right? They I think they were the ones who started with the just on time, where it's like they create and deliver when there is a purchase. Like the
Mhm.
things don't stay on the floor if no one has bought this,
Mhm.
right?
It's called
Uh,
JIT, yeah, just in time. Yeah.
yeah, the just in time, right? So
Yeah.
with the inventory turnover, of course, like not every single business can do just in time. There are
Mhm.
like right now, actually, when if you think about small, mid-sized businesses, actually,
Mhm.
and inventory as a book, let's say, like you are selling a book. Actually, now there are
Mhm.
services where like you can put your book on Amazon, and there is no inventory actually. And when someone
Mhm.
buys it, the book gets printed
Printed,
and shipped.
shipped. Yep.
Uh,
Oh yeah,
so
that is exactly what just in time is. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. And there is a KPI within this KPI inventory, one of the sub KPIs or sub measures. There's a measure called days on hand, that you can measure that the moment that your part or equipment, whatever you're producing, comes off the production line, the clock starts ticking, and you can measure how many days, hours or days, depending on your product and how you sell it, that inventory was sitting on hand. So basically, it's between the most efficient way would be it gets off the conveyor belt, the production line. it gets quality passed, gets into the truck, gets out of your warehouse. That means it does not even sit in your warehouse overnight. That's the most efficient way of doing it. If you can bring your production to that level, then you'll be, there's no worry about inventory. So yeah, overproduction is one of the biggest problems.
Yeah, with manufacturing, yes, that's true.
With,
These
with,
are, yeah, go
and
ahead.
with data, we do have what we call intelligent inventory management systems, which we can build that will help you make sure that your inventory turns over. And it also, there are two levels of inventory if you really deep dive into manufacturing. One is the inventory of the parts that help you make the equipment or whatever it is you're producing, but there's also inventory of parts that run your factory, right? Which is called spare parts. So though these are two different things, but inventory management is a huge task for manufacturing.
That's true, actually. And if you think about it, it's actually three levels of inventory, because, like you said, you have the inventory of, in a way, the raw materials, right? You have the inventory of the parts that are helping with the different machines and things like this that in the factory, and then you have the inventory of your final product. So it is a huge thing, and I know we said we are talking about the 5 key performance indicators for manufacturing, and I think we've listed 10 or 15 so far. And yeah, I do like what you're saying with the key ones, right? The OEE as the first one you mentioned, and then safety and quality as the other two, that when you create your own formula for the safety and quality, they kind of, like, the measurements come from the other ones we were talking about. And then the turnover, inventory turnover, is a huge one, like how much things stay on your hand, like how quickly do you sell your products. This one is a huge one. And the on time, I would add the on time delivery as a fifth one, because it's really important in building trust. It's really important in building trust, and it shows you that from the moment someone orders to the moment you deliver, your system runs smoothly, like the whole path. And I know when we talked about, in preparation for this conversation, you also mentioned freight, right? Overnight freight and things like this that are also, like, can be monitored. And one of the things is, like, with data, we can get lost in data. And now that we have IoT, right? And machines are starting to get, like, we collect every single, like, so much data from each machine, right? Like, you can get lost in the data. That's why it's really important to focus and identify. It's like peeling the onion in a way, and identify what's at the core. What are the things, what are the KPIs for your business, for your manufacturing business? What are the 3 to 5 KPIs, I would say, that really are key and show you that your whole system works the way it is supposed to work. And then if you need to get and analyze and see what's going on, then of course you can get into more details. But in general, that's why it's good to have those, like what you're saying, with quality, health, safety, these parts. It's great to have those high level, like, summary KPIs that give you the high level view, and then you can go drill down into reports and find out what's going on. Where is the red one? Yeah.
Absolutely. All right.
It's been actually a long conversation again, but you have so much experience with this, and like, so much knowledge into this. And we've mentioned it before, data and reporting, it's our, like, this is where our background is, and we can talk about this all day long. So we'll actually let you enjoy the rest of your Friday. And if you're looking for more insights on business leadership and these kind of things, And if you haven't joined it yet, I highly recommend you join our bi-weekly newsletter as well, where we provide even more golden tips and ideas that help you build a thriving business.
Mhm.
And we look forward to summarizing the week tomorrow and in starting the weekend, right?
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Jores. Thanks
everyone.
for
Thanks, Anna.
wonderful, insightful conversation again.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.